Hey guys, we are back again with another video. Myself Raj from Poland and yourself,
Yeah, this is Hemant Jindal. Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
from
from
San Jose. Okay,
San Jose,
awesome. See,
California.
yeah,
Yes.
so lucky he's like having sunny background. I was just talking about it. Like here it's fully snowed, minus 10 degrees, and I'm sick. My wife is sick. So that's what I was talking about. Like people
Yeah,
in California are like they have the best weather, right? Yeah.
yeah. Also, San Jose. When we were talking San Jose, actually, today only we got a nice office. I don't know. I can show you
Yeah.
something. It
Wow.
is right in front of the airport.
Uh-huh.
Very
Yeah.
nice view and very good office as well.
That's
So I
awesome.
thought
Yeah.
it'll be a good because I used to work from home. I thought
Yeah.
it's better. Uh, I don't bother my family that much,
Yeah.
like waking up in the 4 a.m. kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So as we have outsourcing team and as well.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah.
like Hemant was saying something, right? Like you guys, for people who want to start a company, the timing is like it could be all weird times, night 10 p.m., morning 4 a.m., 3 a.m. A lot of sacrifices has to be done. So this is like a very common thing. Sometimes he wakes up several days in a row, 4 a.m., and then sometimes it's late in the night. So it's like a lot of sacrifices that go into it. So yeah.
Actually, I don't think it's a sacrifice. I love it.
Yeah, even
Means
better.
I to me just like you love playing sports.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if you do this, then you don't feel sacrifice. To
Yeah.
me, sleeping during the night to me is a sacrifice. I would say, why should
Yeah,
I sleep? I
that
would love to
that's
sleep in
awesome.
the day. Means whenever I feel like sleeping or taking rest, but
Yeah,
you should love what you're doing.
awesome.
So
That is awesome, Hemant. Yeah, it's such a great thing. Like most founders, when they start a company, there's an enthusiasm in the early days, and then it slowly dies off. So this is we are like 7 months down the line. You can see how, like for example, in this case, Hemant is dealing with the thing. Like he's still very motivated. Like that's what one of the reasons of starting a company is. Like we all should feel like motivated, and we have to own the product. Human beings are very good in reading other people's emotions. If you are faking it, if you are doing a sales pitch, people clearly understand. So you better be like keep
so
it
yeah.
real, genuine.
This is exactly what happened day for yesterday.
Mhm,
I was jet lagged because I traveled
mhm,
from Asia and all that, and I was feeling so like I was thinking everything is falling apart.
uh-huh,
Like because some revenue slow down or
mhm.
something, and so I was like, when you start calculating all the negative things in your life, it feel like everything is negative.
Yeah.
And I was falling asleep. I said, no, okay, when I just fall asleep. And
Mm.
then when I got up, remember, Raj, we got the call from, I missed that call from
Mm.
customer call. I said, how come I can miss that customer call?
Yeah.
I was sleeping and all that. Suddenly my light bulb goes up. I said,
Yeah.
it means there was customer waiting for me and I was sleeping. And then
Yeah.
I thought I should not be in this mode at all.
Yeah.
Immediately I thought about it. We should not do that. And then I called these guys to get this office something so that I feel motivated. So
Mhm.
what I'm trying to say is some days you will feel demotivated
Yeah.
things. So you just need to pass that time, just
Yeah,
get that
this
time.
also will pass, right? That's the thing. Like that's what, like the thing is, it's a roller coaster. You cannot be always positive. Sometimes you will be forced to
Exactly.
think like, oh my god, where is the company is not going anywhere, but that shall also pass, and then there will be light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah.
Yes.
And I was wondering, Evan, did you read the latest news? What happened with Apple? Kind of gave up on the AI race. Like Claude from Anthropic is doing their stuff, and then OpenAI is doing their models, fighting with Google Gemini and stuff. Apple, for the longest time, they promised so many things for your iOS stuff, but they never delivered. And finally, they gave up on creating their own AI version for Siri, and then now they have
And we
partnered with
partner with Google.
Google.
With Google.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big news because Google, just like how Google is the default search engine in Safari, I think they paid 19 billion or something, 20 billion every year to keep Google as a default search
So
engine. Now,
so yeah, I did read this news, but I think is Apple is smart,
Mm-hmm.
I think is when you are building your own AI thing, it needs a lot of resources,
Yeah.
I think is looks like they have passed on that responsibility to Google.
Mm.
Okay, you build the
And
factory, we
maintain.
will produce the products, right? So to
Yeah.
me, because Apple is like, it's like, why would you own a factory of making iPhones? Means when you can produce iPhones better by owning some, like, let somebody own the
Yeah.
factory, right? It's like leasing. I
Yeah.
think this is my
Fair.
first take on this thing. Yeah.
Fair, because you can. That's a very fair point. You are a hardware and software manufacturing company.
Yes.
Running a AI company like OpenAI or Google itself is a big chore. On top
Yes.
of what they are doing, even the Apple could be a $1 trillion industry company on its own. But how much can they chew? But they
Yeah.
tried for 2 years almost, and then finally they decided to go with Google.
And same thing actually happened with me. I used to work for semiconductor company. I used to work for Connexent, Rockwell. At that time, the new trend came. It's called fabless semiconductor companies.
Uh
They
huh.
didn't have any fab. So that trend continued for many years until recently. Then SMCI and all these companies
Mm-hmm.
started making their own fab. So it was same thing, right? Why would you own a fab?
Yeah.
When you
Sometimes
can produce
cheaper,
a
cheaper to
yes,
outsource it. Yeah. Fair.
exactly.
Okay,
Same thing.
moving on from this Apple and Google tie-up, what do you think about the bigger corporations these days are buying up their rival competitions and then they are kind of becoming a monopoly on its own? Like, is it for the good or is it for the better? What does it mean for a middle class civilian? Like, is it good or bad? What do you think? What is your take? Like, you just buy
Um,
the rivals off.
I mean, see, I don't put it into category of good and bad thing.
Hmm.
Because it's always happening. It has always happened.
Yeah.
Countries used to buy countries, right?
Hmm.
Britishers
Hmm.
bought the world, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm is it is will always one big fish will be buying small fish.
Hmm.
So it's like, of course, you can say it's not good that way, but overall,
Hmm.
I think it's good, because when somebody is cutting, the you can say, what
The
do you say,
pie.
inefficiencies, like it's an inefficiency, when the bigger companies buying small, they can be more efficient
Mm.
by putting more resources, or removing,
Hmm.
the same redundant stuff. I think it's a good, because
Yeah.
uh, overall thing.
Yeah.
I know the competition is going down, but I think is same thing, right? When what AT&T or all these big
Mm.
companies buying small one, and now we have only in US three or four big
Yeah.
players. Um, I think it's good, right? They can better manage it or something. I would say
I
is
have.
and happening. And other thing is also,
Mm.
I wanted to say life is never fair. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you should always think that way. Don't think, oh, somebody will do it for me. You have to
Mm.
take your own share.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to add what it means for startups, good or bad, like I was asking, right? I
It is.
feel like for startups, it's better. Why I think it's better is because when a bigger company keeps buying the smaller competitions or whatever uprising competition or mid-sized companies or whatever, when they become too big, their processes kind of slows down or startups have the potential to find flaws. Startups
Yes,
can optimize and solve the things that Google cannot solve because Google is owning 100 companies. Let's say Microsoft owns gaming, so many gaming companies. So Blizzard and all of those $60
yes,
billion deal, right? So all of these gaming studios are now bought by one big giant, and everything trying to come under the Microsoft leadership, it's going to slow down. So what it means for a smaller game publisher, they can ramp up quickly because they are smaller for
exactly.
startups, so then they can fill the hole, feed the requirements, demand and stuff.
Yes,
For startups, I think it's still good. And what is the best case for startup founders? A very good exit. What if one day we got
exactly,
bought by some
exactly.
company?
They got de-risked basically.
Mhm.
So let's say a small company. No, you think, right? Let's say I'm the CEO of a small company, and Microsoft buy me or something.
Mhm.
I still am working as a startup, and
Yeah.
and now I am risk free. More
Yeah.
like, and because I got a bigger paycheck or all that. I
Yeah.
don't need to, and I have even better procedures, to follow. And I'm not cutting the corners because I have unlimited funding.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think it's good for both sides. And
Yeah.
then some bigger companies got organic growth, they call it.
Yeah, and also I will like we don't have to think like when bigger companies buy competition, it's like a be all end all thing. There is still opportunities. When a thing
Yes.
swells up too big, it moves slowly. Obviously, it cannot become as efficient. The reason why startups are still there is because they're very fast and very quickly they can adapt. But no other big company can do
Yep.
that. Google cannot release Gemini every week updates, right? But a startup can always update, bring new changes and update and stuff. So yeah,
Yes. Yes.
that's
Yeah.
one question. Yeah.
I
And
agree.
this
Yeah.
is a question that comes often. Hemant. I was wondering to ask you like, there are so many non technical founders, okay, who have, let's say they are 40, 50 years old, okay, they are in a good company, they are making good money, but they are not happy really with their job, but they always had this side thought of starting a business, okay, let's say a SaaS business, software company. So do you think this today is the right time to start a company for those non-technical founders? One of the things that stops them is, as I said, non-technical, they are not programmers. Obviously they have money,
Mm.
they have idea, vision, but they are just worried or scared that they couldn't start their own venture. Like, what will you say to those people?
Okay, I think is it's the right time to talk about this thing.
Mhm.
So these days, I will say, because of Chat GPT, there's nobody you can say I'm not tech. You
Yeah.
just ask you just ask Chat GPT, hey, I want to develop this app. Give me this know-how. It is right in front of you. So I don't think nobody should think that I am non-technical, or I'm not. So this is the best time for you, okay, for non. But now the thing is that should you do it or not, that is, I would say, don't take Chat GPT as your everything guide.
Mm.
So this is where your own strength comes into picture. Like, okay, now you have to think, if you're creative, then you have to partner with either a good partner who can give you, or who can you can leverage,
Yeah.
because it's not easy for any non-tech person to know the technology and all that. Like, you might get stuck in a very small
Mhm.
thing, let's say the domain, owning a domain or something like that, hosting a domain, like things like this. It's better if you
Yeah.
have somebody who knows this thing.
Mhm.
So leverage with somebody, who can
Yeah,
you can
who has the complementary skill, right? For
yes,
example, let's say I'm a developer, Hemant is good in sales, I'm not good in sales and I hate talking to people. So we both, and he doesn't like to code, we both can team up and then we both can complement each other.
yes,
So it's
yes,
like a very good win-win situation. Both of us want to start a company, so it's like a win-win situation, right? Yeah.
yeah,
So I, to summarize what you are saying or what we both kind of agree is, today's day and age, you have access to these intelligent tools like Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, Anthropic, etc. So
yeah,
many things, right? So it's like, like it's very naive to say that I don't know anything, because you don't
yes,
need to know anymore. The way the education system is changing these days. Like that day I saw an interview of Nvidia's CEO Jensen Huang. He was saying that I advise students not to take computer science anymore, because you don't need to go to a university to learn computer science, programming, software, none of those things. Yeah,
yeah. It's like you try to learn how to make a building, right? If you are trying to get a house, you better hire contractors. Why should you do that, right?
yeah.
So
And these days, because of ChatGPT, it's just right in your fingertips. Like if I do
yes,
not know how to become a game developer, I can ask ChatGPT, start with a 2D game. I want to design so and so. It's gonna give me code. If it breaks,
yes,
I give the error to it back, and then we
exactly.
go back and forth, and we can fix it. And there are also other vibe coding tools and stuff. That's where like
Actually,
we come in. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, actually, it perfectly fits into our thing, right? I used to code.
Yeah.
I was embedded software, and when we started this Milky Eye, we started coding ourselves.
Mm.
We got stuck in the, like, almost in the first week or so,
Yeah.
how to do that, and then we have to find somebody who could do that for
Yeah.
us, and that thing unclogged our development
Yeah.
cycle,
We were able
So
to
even
churn
clear
out
code, yeah,
15 apps in 2 months period. 15 apps from zero. Never built
yes,
any app. So, but
yes,
15 apps we were able to do. Hemant is able to do, I am able to do. Both of us are not full stack developers.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
like crazy, the way technology has come. These large language models, we were doing 80% of our task. We need somebody to patch it up, to make it
yes,
shippable. That's all. So that's where like we come in place. Milk AI. What we do is like there are vibe coding tools, there are powerful large language models, but they are not really perfect. You can come 80% of the way, and so many of these projects never see the light of the day. We feel really bad for those projects. Your next app could be a $1 billion app or a unicorn, Spotify or whatever, Facebook or next biggest greatest thing ever, but it probably will never see the day of light, because that last 10% 20%, if you guys are stuck at, that's where
yeah,
we come in. We help you guys make your apps get shipped. That's the only thing that I'm gonna plug here. Nothing else. Like most of the apps never get published anywhere. So this is the problem that we faced ourselves. We solved it. Now we have a strong team and a system in place. Then we wanted to help other technical or non-technical or any founders of any age and any background to help them ship software products. So that's what I wanted to say. And
yes.
another question, Hemant, okay, another question is like, mm, like, do you think a single person can start a company? Like, oh, there are so many questions when I talk to my friends or something. My friends say that, dude, like, how can I just start a company on my own? Like, I don't have certain skill set or something. Like, they are just more worried than excited to start anything. People are like very risk averse these days. At least the younger generation, I think they're not willing to take more risks. So can a single person start a company, and what advice would you give it to a younger person in their
Um,
30s, 20s?
I think is means anybody can start. The problem is not starting. The
Mm.
problem is like your vision. What do you think? I think is means like what do you mean by starting? Like starting means is you start. Let's say you register your company and then get the
Mm.
first customer and then get the revenue, right? So now,
Yeah,
right?
that very step, like many people, they like the idea of starting a company, but they think of all these things. Oh, should I register? Oh, how much should I pay? Oh, do I need to do
Yes.
so and so? And they get overwhelmed. Never do it. Never do it.
Yeah.
That's what is.
Yeah. So yeah, means I would say is means like I can tell from my experience how I started. Like I was working a 9 to 5, all that, and then I was so frustrated. Hey, why do I need to beg for salary raise and all that? And then just one day I said I wanted to quit, and then the company still wanted me, and then they said, okay, why don't you work as a consultant for me?
Mm-hmm.
So then I started working for the same company, and then I just went online to register for a company. I paid $800. The name I couldn't come up with one. I just made my made my company name On Time Software
Uh-huh.
LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I started just charging double, and then that made me think how should I like invoice customer, you know,
Mm.
and then expense all that, more like a like so so basically you can start, I think, like that, so that you get a feeling how to do manage your own company. What do you mean by
Mm.
managing your own company? And then of course you can later hire people, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
starting your own company, just like you're working for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and anybody can do it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and what do you? How do people beat hesitation and self doubt? That's a thing that comes up often. Among young people, like they never have done anything. Obviously, because they are younger, their experience is zero. Like, what will a young person like? Because when as a young, let's say I'm 20 years old and I'm telling it to my parents that I want to start something, and my friends and everybody, like generally everybody laughs at you, like it's like lot of uncertainties, very steep hill
So
to
that
climb.
is, yeah, that is the opportunity. When people laugh at you, just take that challenge, that okay, that's good.
Hmm.
The more people laugh at you, it means that that is a thing you should take.
Hmm.
You have to make the whole world show that I can do it. The very first step is, what you can do is let's say you're in California, I will just go find a somebody, like find a company who will register it for me, pay them for 500 $800 to get started, Okay, this is how actually Nvidia got started. If people
Yeah,
don't know, like 4 or 5 people just thought we
yeah,
have to do something,
yeah.
you know
At the
they
age of
got
31, 32, my age they started.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
literally started Nvidia 34, 32 years age. Yeah,
So you have to do it. This is the thing. Okay, what else, right? How, what is the opportunity cost? Okay, just a few $100,
hmm,
and then few months to waste, right? Okay, what's the big deal? At least you did it. You can say in your bucket list, I did it.
yeah,
So and then most probably your first company will fail. That is
yeah,
99% sure it will fail. But
yeah,
do it, and then so that your second company has less
yeah.
chances of failing.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of this is where I wanted to go next, and you clearly led us there. What would you tell founders or people who are trying to start something and they did start something and then they failed? Like, what kind of an encouragement or anything that you can tell from your own failures in entrepreneurship in your life? Like, how did it feel for you when you failed in idea or something? All the loss it came with, all the problems it created, and how did you bounce back? And what made you start the next venture? Why did you believe that you still got this, or why did you try to start even after failure? That's a very
Okay.
powerful answer question.
So I think is because if you're a starter or if you're a founder, most probably you're a young person. Means you might not be 50 like me or something. So I will take a more like a parallel example, finding a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about, okay, if my first girlfriend or
Yeah,
boyfriend rejected me, should I not do the second one or something? Means it's the same risk. It's
yeah.
exactly, I think even the risk of a relationship is much more for you because
Mm.
you feel your whole life.
Yeah,
But
it's more
this
emotional,
risk
right?
is
Yeah,
nothing that way. This risk is nothing, that way. So I would, what I'm saying is, it's always good to fail first,
yeah,
then do second thing or better.
yeah.
So I would say is, I little bit lost in your question. What was your exactly
So
question?
my
Was it?
question is, when you failed,
Yeah,
uh, how did it feel, and what made you bounce back to start the next venture?
I think then I answered your question right. Right,
Mm,
you should not feel at all. Okay, I failed or something. To me, you learned. So it's always you have to be just like you have to be emotionally you get more mature by second relationship. Something
mm,
same thing over here is
yeah.
you get more financially, or you can say literate, or more, you got more educated or something
Mm.
by failing
What
from
the
first one.
thing is, like, one thing that I can say is I'm 30 years old. I have failed 3 times before. Okay, trying to start companies, which Hemant knows clearly. So what I say is, for every company that I failed, it sucked really bad. That's true. But the amount of learning that I got from it is invaluable. Like,
Invaluable,
while
yes.
studying, I failed of all these ways. So I
Yes.
know what not to do when I'm out the world, graduated and stuff. Like, we've learned so much. The thing is, you cannot learn anything from textbooks or going to MBA. You
Yes, yes.
just have to do something, like just
You do
start a
yourself.
business.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
You have.
one saying in startup, like a informal saying, in software is the only field where you can stay at your mom's basement and you can create a software that will
Yes.
challenge a Fortune 500 company.
Exactly.
This is the
Exactly.
one field.
Exactly. This is the only field. Yeah. Especially with AI these days.
Yeah.
Because of AI, you have more capability because not only you can develop faster, you can get exactly how they did it. AI
Mm,
will tell you exactly the blueprint.
yeah.
You know, how they did it, because before that you have to read books and
Mm,
then you have to read it for months or something, then come up. But now you get a good summary, how
mhm,
they did it, and you can even ask AI how they hacked it.
mm. Another
So
one important question here, man. It's a bit deeper question is, like, for first time founders, what advice would you give to them to not get too attached to their idea? Every founder, when they start their first thing, they think that this is it, this is my child, like a baby that you are raising. If it dies, I am dying. Like, I don't know what else I will do with my life.
yeah, means you get attached to the idea and then you don't even do comparative analysis, you don't even ask
Mm,
other people, you don't even ask your first customer, will you buy it, will you pay me?
mm,
the very first red flag is, if you nobody's paying you to develop it, it means a big red flag. But if you get first customer or somebody say, hey, do it, here is $100,
Mm.
you do it for me, that is a big plus for you. You should
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, there are
So
so
always
many ideas you can just validate by seeing if people will be willing to pay or not. And that's what I would say, never get married to your ideas. Ideas are like just thoughts that comes today and tomorrow changes and then it evolves over time. And whatever idea you think or a problem you think, you hypothesize that it is there, when you start a company, when you start doing the research, you will quickly realize it's not the problem that I thought was the problem. There is something else that's new. That's
yeah.
exactly what we also thought. In Milk AI, in every company, when you first start out, we thought we will build apps and keep selling apps. Then we realized we could not even finish the app. Then we got a team together and we finally shipped a bunch of apps. And then we learned the platform itself, developed a system of how to develop, ship, and then not break it, fix it, and then make it usable. So it's a big system there. And then we are now doing consultancy to get more clients, and we have now trained our muscles to build apps as
Yes.
quick as we can possibly can, right? So yeah, so it's going to be a lot of learning curve. Only by doing we can get to it. Yeah. So is there any other question that you want to ask me or ask them or tell them, or what do you think?
Yeah, I would say, before even starting company, look, how risk averse or how, risk tolerant you are. Means
Mm,
I don't even think about starting a company. Just think a very small risk. Let's say you need to switch a job. Let's say you need to find like in the relationship or something. Like even in a let's say you are in a relationship, how much you are disclosing yourself, how vulnerable you are. Are you very open, honest, with your partner or something. So that is your risk profile. Like it means is you are ready to burn, anything you have. So think about your risk profile, and if you are less, try to take more risks.
mm,
In these, like you means try to be more open, try to talk to people. Like if you're in an elevator, are you talking to somebody who is sitting next, standing next to an elevator? So think about these things first. It means, are you ready to jump? Are you ready to
mm.
open yourself? This
Yeah.
is my question,
And
more like.
also, have you found people like in their 50s, 60s, or 40s, whatever, who kind of have regrets that they did not start companies?
Most
Yeah.
people, means the biggest regret, most people always say, oh, I wish I would have started it sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys,
And
listen
even
to this
starting
very carefully. This is where the experience starts. Like when you're 40, 50, when it's too late, when you have to pay for a child's education and stuff, that time you cannot do anything. You should rather start as early as possible. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's all I think like we did a good 30-minute podcast actually.
Oh, okay, we
Very,
should start doing lesser and lesser because people don't
yeah.
want to watch till the end.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. So, guys, what I'm planning to do is probably chop this down into bits and then make multiple videos out of it so that you guys can get advices for every single question that I asked. So that will be so I launch one full podcast and chop it down into smaller videos as well, 2 minute, 3 minute chunks for every question, like taking risks and stuff, how to recover from failure, all of those things. So many young people who want to be an entrepreneur or older people, it doesn't matter. AI is level the playground for all of us. So yeah, it'll be
So
awesome.
let me give you a good label for this video. One of my friend, our partner also, Bajinder, used to ask me, "Hey, how long it takes to go to India?" When we were living, I said it just take 10 minutes or 1 minute. I said, "How come it takes 1 minute?" I said, "The moment I am in the plane, I'm in India. I cannot go back."
Yeah.
So I'll say you can name it how to go in 1 minute to India or
Yeah, I
something.
understand. Yeah, I understand
Right.
the big the metaphor behind it. Yeah, your
Right.
mind is now set. Like once you logged in, that's all. Like you are an
Yeah.
entrepreneur,
Yeah.
you just go, 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 go. Yeah.
Yes. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Okay.
awesome. So,
Yeah.
see you guys. Thank you so much. We'll do more and more of this podcast, and soon we will also trying to do live streams as well. We have fixed timing for a weekly ones, that where we could answer your guys questions, live questions or whatever, depending on the interest of course. And then we keep pumping more videos as well, because it gives a opportunity for us to connect as well, because we live in two different continents, even though we are basically Indians, but like I've never met him in person. So it's like that's how it is, like so we want to keep it closer, the more we talk, the more we open up, we can develop more better relationship, both taking decisions for the company as well. So yeah, so thank you so
Thank you.
much guys, thank you
Yes.
Heman, see you.
Yeah. Yeah.